Hey guys, welcome to day 3 of building a community app in just 4 days. So, in this video, we are going to build a dashboard for the admin wherein they are able to create space and the courses and they're able to see the whole overall insight of what all spaces are published, are still in draft, which courses are published and in draft. All right, so let's quickly get into this. This is going to be a long lesson, but I'm going to try my best to keep it simple, short, and sweet. So let's get into this. So head over to our bubble editor and let's first start building this navigation tab. All right. So the width of the navigation tab is 240, as you can see over here in the Figma file. So let's quickly do this. Make sure you're on dashboard admin. Let's make this dashboard. Background color is going to be our background color. And the layout is going to be a column. Width is going to be 1440, height is going to be 800. There we go, looks good. Now for the navigation tab, we're going to use a floating group. So let's drop it over here and let's call this floating group. I'm just going to stick with header. Width is going to be 240 and the container layout is going to be column because we are going to be stacking elements. Height is going to be 0, min height, and we're going to uncheck this box that is fit height to content because I want this to fall as long as the page width goes. I mean page height goes. Now in the appearance, we're going to add a slight border on the right hand side, just on the right hand side. So for that, check this box. Let's define each border independently. And on the right, we're going to add a solid border with our border color. Now click on layout and we're going to add padding. So on the top and bottom, we're going to add a padding of 32. So let's go ahead and do that. And on left and right, it's going to be 16 pixels. Let's also add a row gap of, let's go with 32. Actually, it doesn't matter. Let's go with 24 because we are going to be grouping elements later on. Before time being, it's okay. We can keep it 24. Let's see. So we have a logo, which is going to be an image icon, image element. We have a button with an icon. And we have the navigation tabs over here. All right. So, and the space between these are 32. Okay. All right. So let's drop an image over here. And from our asset file, just upload the logo. I'm going to use the SVG file and let's make it 30 by 30. Keep element aspect ratio fixed. You know what? Let's make it 32. And let's keep it 1 by 1. Perfect. You know what? Let's make it 30. All right. Now it's time to add a button. So let's add a button over here. And the button type over here is going to be label and icon. Icon over here is going to be plus, but let's see, do we have a plus? Let's go with that. I'm going to stick with this one. Let's make this 14. 15, let's see. Oh, 15 is way too small. Let's stick with 18. And the label is going to be create space. My bad. Click on layout and check fixed width. Min width is going to be 0 and min height is going to be 40. Now we are going to make few changes. Before that, let me just, all right. So change the button alignment to be left aligned. I don't want it to be centered because I want it to fall accordingly to the navigation tab. All right. Or should we keep it in the center? Let's keep it the way it is. And if it looks bad, we can change it. Create new space. Now let's drop a group over here and let's call this as group dashboard. Click on layout. Min width is going to be 0, min height is going to be 40. Let's add a background style, which is going to be a flat color. Let's make it white. And let's add a roundness of 6. Now, in this group, we are going to add a outline icon and a text field. So let's quickly drag and drop a outline icon. I'm just going to click on outline icon. Let's drop it inside group dashboard. Let's make it 18 by 18. Let's center this as well. All right. So head over to hero icons and let's search for graph. So we're going to use chart bar over here. Click on appearance, paste the name, and all right, color is going to be our text color. And let's also add a text field. And let's call this dashboard. This is going to be medium. And I notice one thing that the layout is set to column. So this should be row because we want to stack elements side by side. And let's add a column gap of 6. Looks good. I'm just going to make this first, center this, center the text element as well, and let's make it fit with the content. I'm going to select group dashboard over here, and let's see. So we have 16 on the edges. Okay. So over here, let's add 16 on left and right. Looks good. I'm just going to copy this, select floating group header, paste, again, do the same thing. Now the second group is going to be group space. You know what? Let's name it as group space nav. Let's call this as group dashboard nav. And this one over here is going to be group course nav. All right. We have all space over here. So let's change this to all spaces. And the icon over here is going to be, is it square? Yeah, it's square plus. Just copy this, paste it over here. There we go. Same goes with this, all courses. And for this, we are using education cap or something. Let's see. Let's search for cap. Academic cap. I'm going to copy this, paste it over here. There we go. So we have group course now, group space now, and group dashboard now. So let's group these 4 together into a column container. Let's add a row gap of 12. Let's call this group nav collection. Let's get rid of min height as well. 40, 40, 40. Okay, looks good. Now I'm going to select these 2 groups. The logo and our group now collection. Right click, group them into a column container. And let's add a row gap of 32. Let's also get rid of min height as well. Let's call this group top. Now it's time to work on this part, that is to log out of the app. So for this, we are going to use an image first. Let's drop an image. And let's see how big is this. It's 32 by 32. So let's make it dynamic image. Let's make it current users, avatar, process with images. Check this box. Run mode rendering is going to be zoom. In layout, let's make it 32. Keep element aspect ratio fixed. Let's also add a roundness, and it should be 100 because we want a full circle. And yeah, looks good. I'm going to copy this, paste this over here. This is going to be dynamic text as well, which is going to be current users name. And we do need an icon, so I'm going to copy, paste over here. And this one is log out, exit if my memory is strong. It's strong, by the way. Yeah, arrow left, whatever. My memory is strong. I really have a good memory. Anyway, okay, so let's stick to this. But before that, you know what? Let's make this 20. I don't know why it looks way too small. Same goes with other elements as well. Alright, now it looks better. Now it's time to group these three together into a row container. And let's add a column gap of 12 and let's make it space between. And let's add a left and right padding of 16. Let's call this as group bottom. Alright, let's stick to it. And on top and bottom is going to be 6. Now let's get rid of min height. Click on appearance, add a solid border with a border color, and let's add a roundness of 6. Let's center everything in this group. Amazing. Now I'm going to select floating group header and we are going to change the container alignment to be space between. Let's get rid of row gap as well. We don't need row gap. Okay, looks good. Let's see how this looks on the front end. But as of now, we are logged in the feed as a member. So let me log out. Let's log out. Let's log in again. And we're going to log in as, shoot, I forgot his name. Blake Woods. And let's do one thing. I just need to check something. So let's check our login flow. User logs in, reset, go to feed page. Now for this, we're going to set a condition, which is going to be when current user role is member, then only he's going to be directed to page feed. I'm going to copy this, paste this over here, and for admin, let's change it to blue. So when the current user role is admin, we're going to log the user in. We're going to reset the relevant inputs. And in step 3, we're going to navigate the user to dashboard admin. So let's quickly update this. I'm just going to copy this. Let's update and refresh the page. Paste. Enter the password, login. And we are directed to okay. There was an error. Log the user in. Login. Wait a minute. Inputs value, password. Well, that's weird. Let's fix this. Issues are good. I'm just going to delete this. Email. You know what? I'm just going to get rid of this. This as well. Oh, shoot. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this condition. Log the user in. Reset the relevant inputs. Go to page feed only when current user role is member. I'm gonna copy this, paste this over here. When it's admin, I want him to be navigated to dashboard admin. Let me check in the database. Lakewood. I'm just gonna copy this over here. Let's refresh. There we go. All right, we fixed it. Pretty easy, right? Now let's work on group dashboard. So I'm gonna call this as group dashboard. This whole thing. So let's quickly work on it. I'm just gonna cancel this. Head back to dashboard admin. Now let's drop a group on our page and let's call this as group dashboard. And the layout, min width is going to be 0, min height is going to be 0, uncheck fit height to content, and we're going to add a left margin of 240. There we go. Now let's see. Okay. So let's add a padding of 32 all around the edges for this group, and let's also add a row gap of, let's go with 32. Okay, so let's see what do we have in our Figma file. So we had these two text fields over here. If you remember, we had already used this in our onboarding, so I'm just going to copy and paste it instead of creating from scratch. Copy, select group dashboard, paste. Let's get rid of this. This is going to be dashboard. I'm going to click on layout and make it uncheck fit height to content. This one over here is going to be hi current user. So if we refresh, we should be able to see, oh, there's no space over here. Okay, now it looks good. What else do we have? So we have 3 group cards. So in this course, I'm not going to focus on the total revenue thing because we are monetizing it. But if you want to get more deeper insights, you can register yourself and join the waitlist for my community online course. So you can go ahead and enroll yourself to get a discount, early access discount. All right, so let's quickly drop a text field. This is going to be live spaces. Let's make the secondary color text color. Let's make it semi bold. And check fit height, fit width to content. I'm gonna copy this text, drop it over here. This over here is going to be dynamic data, which is going to be do a search for spaces wherein status is equal to published. Close this, and we need a count, which is going to be formatted as a number. We don't need decimal. Close. There you go. Now I'm going to group these two together into a column container. Let's call this group card 1. Click on layout. Min height is going to be 0. Row gap is going to be 24. Let's add a padding of 24 all around the edges. Let's click on appearance. Let's make it white. Let's add a solid border with our border color. And let's add a roundness of 6. Alright, I'm just gonna copy this card, paste it, do it 3 more times. This one is going to be group card 2. Let's call this group card 3. And lastly, we have group card 4. Live spaces, live courses. Alright, let's change this. And instead of searching for space, we're going to search for course. There we go. active members, and over here we're going to search for users, wherein wherein user role is equal to member. Close this. Lastly, we have total revenue. And for this, I'm just going to hard code this because we aren't monetizing or capturing payments, so we don't have a database. So I'm just going to make this as 27,000. And I'm going to drop one more text over here because if you notice, we have a small per month text over here. So let's quickly do that. Per month. Let's see what's the font size. It's 10 medium. So let's make it 10. Let's make it medium. Let's change the color to our primary color. And I'm going to group these two texts together into a row container with a column gap of 4. Min height is going to be 0. For this text, that is the revenue, I'm just going to make it fit with the content. There we go. Now it's time to group these cards together. So let's select these 4 cards, right click, group them into a row container. Let's add a column gap of 21. Min height is going to be 0. Now let's group these two together. You know what? Let's call this as group card holder. So I'm going to select group card holder and group heading. Right click, group them into a column container with a row gap of 24. Min height is going to be 0. Let's call this group 1. Let's see on our front end. Hi Blakewood. Looks good. Alright, looks good. Now it's time to set up the space. Okay, so if you remember, we had already used this section over here. So I'm just going to copy, head back to dashboard, select group dashboard, and paste it over here. Oh, we just selected a text. Let's do this again. Select the whole group heading, right click, copy, select group dashboard, paste. And this over here is going to be all space, and I'm just going to copy the subtext. Let's quickly work on this. All spaces, and I'm going to paste this over here. Okay, so in order to have this cards, we are going to use repeating group. Now, before we get into this, you can pause this video right now and you can add 4 to 5 spaces through the backend. Just add a 4 because I'm going to show you the process how we're going to add a new space. So just add a 4 just for the UI thing. Okay. All right. So let's drop a repeating group over here. Let's call this as spaces. Type of content is going to be space. Data source is going to be do a search. Wait a minute. Do a search for space wherein status is equal to published. I'm going to close this. There we go. Now the rows are going to be dynamic, so we don't need a fixed number of rows. So uncheck this. Let's make this 100%. And columns over here is going to be, let's go with 4. Let's go with 4 or 3. Let's go with 4. 3, my bad. Separator is going to be 21. Color is going to be our background color. Apart from that, let's get rid of this ugly border. In layout, min width is going to be 0, min height is going to be 0, and check fit height to content because we need some room to work. Now let's quickly see the design for the card. So we have 3 text fields over here, actually 4. These 3 are grouped together with a row gap of 6. And then there's this text, and then the row gap is 24. 24 on the edges as well. Okay. The font size is 20 semi-bold. So let's quickly do this. Just going to drop a text in the repeating group. Let's call this current cell space name. This is going to be 20, and this is going to be semi-bold, bold. Let's make it bold. Click on layout and check fit width to content. I'm just going to copy and paste this again. This over here is going to be created by, so creator's name. All right, so let's get rid of this. Created by, insert dynamic data, which is current cell space creator's name. And this over here is going to be 14. In font size, it's going to be medium, and the color is going to be secondary text color. There we go. I'm going to copy this, paste this again. This is going to be regular. Let's make this font as 10. And over here, you're going to insert dynamic data, which is current cell space status display. Now I'm going to center this. Click on layout. Add a padding of 10 on left and right, and 5 on top and bottom. Click on appearance. Let's add a background style of flat color, which is going to be our primary color, with an opacity of 10 and a roundness of 100. Now for the text, let's use our primary color, and let's make it fit width to content. So this over here is going to be space status chip. There we go. Now I'm gonna copy this, paste this again, and this over here is going to be current cell space description. That's it. But in the layout, we're gonna add a height of 40, fixed height of 40. There we go. Now let's group these three together into a column container with a row gap of 12. Let's call this group space heading. I'm going to select group space heading and the description. Right click, group them into a column container again with a row gap of 24. And height is going to be 0. Padding is going to be 24 all around the edges. And let's make it fit width to content. Click on appearance. Let's call this group space card. Roundness is going to be 6. Solid border with our border color. Background is going to be white. I'm going to select repeating group space. Get rid of min width. Make it 0. I don't know why it was 2800. Anyway, and I'm going to uncheck fit height to content. I'm going to select our group dashboard and uncheck fit height to content as well. Now let's see how this looks. So I had already created 4 or 5 spaces. There you can see, looks good. I just noticed one thing. It's showing created by as blank because I created from the backend. But it's okay, we can change it. This over here, click on appearance, and I'm going to uncheck this, that is center the text vertically. I want it to be top aligned, and we're going to change the font color to our primary text color. And now let's see how this looks. Amazing. Are we missing something? No. You know what? Let's make this row gap as 6. 12 is like way too big. All right. So I want to make this navigation as active. It's going to show that this is in active state. So in order to have that, we're going to use parameters. So when user clicks on dashboard, we're going to add a workflow, which is basically going to navigate the user to dashboard admin itself. Data to be sent is going to be current user, but we're going to send a parameter, which is going to be v. I'm just going to get rid of this and I'm just going to use d. Okay. And I'm going to select group dashboard, click on layout, check this box that it collapse when hidden, click on condition, and over here we're going to set a condition which is going to be get data from page URL. Over here parameter is going to be v, which is d, and this is true, this element is visible. And when user logs in for admin, we are also going to send a parameter which is going to be similar, v is equal to d. So when he logs in, by default, his page is going to show dashboard. We're still not done. We're going to click on dashboard admin. We do need to notify the user that he's currently on dashboard page. So I'm going to select group dashboard now, click on condition. Oh, before that, I'm just going to copy this expression, paste it over here on group dashboard now. So when this is true, the background color changes to primary color with an opacity of 10. And let's also do one thing. So when user clicks on this icon, I'm gonna make this clickable, and let's name this as outline logout. Click on workflows. So when element outline icon is clicked, element is outline icon logout. We are going to log the user out and navigate the user to login page. Let's refresh this. Let's log out and let's log in again. I'm just gonna copy paste bleak wordexample.com. Okay. Example.com. Let's see. All right, that's working. So if I click, of course, it won't show anything because we're still yet to work on all spaces. All right. For the spaces, let me just check if I can change this. Anyway. I'm just gonna copy group dashboard and let's hide this. I'm gonna select our dashboard page, right click, paste. This over here is going to be group all spaces. Okay, let's see what do we have. The UI is somewhat similar. We're just gonna add a few more things and that's it. So we have a button over here and we have this additional all space text over here. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna copy this, select this group heading, paste it over here. Let's make this first. Let's make this as all spaces. Right? I'm gonna get rid of this whole group one. Okay. So we do have a button over there. So I'm gonna add a button and let's call this as add space. Click on layout and check fixed width. Min width is going to be 0. Let's make it fit width to content. Height is going to be 35. I'm going to select this group and our group heading. Right click, group them into a row container because we want them side by side. Container alignment is going to be space space between, and let's add a column gap of 24. Let's call this group heading. Amazing. Group all space condition. Now let's work on setting up the condition. So when user clicks on group space nav, we're going to add a workflow which is going to be similar. So I'm just going to copy this, paste it for group space nav, and let's make this as all space. Head back to design. Let's change the condition, and instead of D, let's make it as all space. And this element should not be visible on page load. Just make sure you uncheck this. Similarly for all space, I'm just gonna copy the expression and change the value to as. When this is true, the background color changes to our primary color with an opacity of 10. Come on guys, we have already done this. So let's test this out, how this looks. So right now v is equal to D. If I click on all space, it's still showing. All right. Okay. Let's quickly fix this. This element is visible. Collapse when hidden. This should collapse when hidden. Okay, so you know what? Select group dashboard and uncheck this. Element is visible on page load. Let's quickly refresh this. And there we go. So we're able to switch between these two. Now let's quickly do the same thing for our all courses. So I'm just going to hide group dashboard. I'm going to select group all space, right click, copy. Let's hide it. Select our page, paste. Let's call this as group all courses. Let's quickly change this. Let's make it all courses. This is going to be all courses. Explore and manage all courses effortlessly. Button is going to be add course. Now one thing I noticed over here is I'm just gonna hide group all course. Let's pull up group all space, and over here instead of searching for published, let's just delete the content because I want user to be able to see their draft as well. All right, there we go. Let's hide our group all space again, and let's bring up group all courses. Let's do the same thing for this as well, but we need to set the database. So type of content is going to be course. You're going to search for course, and that's it. There we go. Now of course we're going to throw an error because over here the data in the group is set to space. So let's quickly update this. There we go. Let's do for this group as well. Current cell course. Okay, this one is going to be parent group course name. Again for this creator's name, that's fine. This is going to be parent group course description. And we forgot to do one more thing. We forgot to add a edit button, because if you notice in the Figma file we have an edit button, right? So let's quickly do this. Won't take much time. Let's start with group all space. I'm just going to hide group all courses. So let's drop a button in our group space card. Click on layout, make it fit width to content, uncheck. Wait a minute. Oh, sorry, my bad. Min width is going to be 0, uncheck fixed width. Height is going to be 40. Click on appearance and let's change this to secondary button. And this is going to be edit. Oh, edit. There we go. I'm gonna copy this and do the same thing for group all course. Let's select, let's call this as group course card. And I'm just gonna paste this over here. There we go. Now let's see how this looks. So again, just make sure you have added something in the back end. Oh, we forgot to set the few things. Okay. Right click paste. Oh, and V is equal to B. Let's call it at AC, all codes. All right. Click on condition, paste the expression, change this to AC. We're going to change the background color to primary color with an opacity of 10. For group all course, we're going to change this to AC. Then only this element is visible. Let's test this out. All course, we have two cores in the back end, so that's why it's showing two cores over here. All right. Okay, looks good to me. All right, so now that we're done with this, let's start. Let's see what do we have. I guess we have created both of these. Now let's work on creating a new space. So for that, we are going to use a pop-up. So drop a pop-up on the screen. Let's make it small like this. Let's call this pop-up add space. Click on appearance. Click on layout actually. Let's make this column because we're going to be stacking elements. Width is going to be 400. You know what? Let's make it 430. Height is going to be 500. We just need some room to work with, and then we're going to get rid of the fixed height. Let's add a padding of 24. Let's also add a row gap of 24 over here. I'm going to drop, you know what? Yeah, forget it. I'm just going to drop a text. Let's call this as add new space. And I'm going to make this as 20, bold, and uncheck fit width to content. I'm going to copy and paste it again, and let's make this a subtext, which is going to be add a new space to your community. This is going to be 14, and color is going to be our secondary text color, and let's make this as medium. I'm just going to get rid of this. Let's select these two together, right click, group them into a column container with a row gap of 6. Min height is going to be 0. Let's call this as group heading pop-up. Now let's add, you know what, I'm just going to go to onboarding, and I'm going to use this group name. Copy this, head back to dashboard admin, bring up the pop-up, select it, paste. Now in the appearance, let's change few things. I don't want this to be disabled. Let's get rid of initial content, and over here is going to be enter space name. Now let's add a button, and let's call this as save. Click on layout, uncheck fixed width. Min width is going to be 0, height is going to be 40. We're going to select the pop-up add space. Min height is going to be 0. Now let's work on saving the space name and directing it to the edit page. All right, so let's click on add workflow. So basically we're going to create a new thing, which is going to be a space. We are just using or capturing a space name. So space name is going to be a naming element, input space name. All right, so over here we're going to select input space names value. And by default, the status is going to be draft, but if you want to just make sure, just do it over here. Let's see what other fields do we have. Post, that's fine. Let's also add space tag, which is going to be again input space names value. There you go. After this, we are going to reset the inputs, and then we're going to navigate the user to a new page, which is going to be edit page. We haven't created it, so let's create it. Edit. I'm just going to clone it like, you know what? Let's clone it like onboarding. There we go. From here, select edit. Data to be sent is going to be result of step one. There you go. Done. Now we do need to bring up this pop-up. So for that, we are going to add workflow on this button, which is going to be show pop-up add space. Similarly, for our group all space as well, we're going to do the same thing on this button. Add a workflow, element actions, show pop-up add space. Let's quickly do the same thing for pop-up add course. So I'm just going to pull this up, right click, copy. Let's hide this. Select the page, paste. Let's call this as pop-up add course. Let's make few tweaks over here. Add new course. Add new course to your community. This one is going to be enter course name. Let's also change this. So when user clicks on save, we're gonna create a new thing, which is course. We don't need cover image, we don't need description. This over here is going to be input course names value. No members. Status is going to be draft. There we go. Reset inputs and navigate the user to a new page. Let's again create a new page. Let's call this as edit course. And again, let's clone it like edit for time being. There we go. Now we do need to bring this up, bring this pop up. So for this, let's bring up group all course. And when user clicks on all course, we're going to add a workflow, which is show pop-up add course. Now let's quickly do this. Let's see if it works. I'm not going to create it right now. Click on all space over here. Amazing. Over here, all space. For all course, enter course name. Amazing. Now it's time to create the edit page. That is this one. So let's first create edit space and let's focus on edit course later on. So in the editor, you might be getting an issue over here. So it's okay. Ignore this for time being because we're going to save our time. You're going to get the idea in some time. Just trust me. All right. So let's head it to edit, which is our edit space. Group one card. Okay. I'm just going to get rid of this whole thing. I don't want this. Okay. Let's call this group edits space. Type of content, as you can see, space over here. Let's call this as edit current page space name. All right, this text is going to be edit space. Click on layout, make it uncheck fit width to content. This over here is going to be, you know what, before this I'm going to select group edit space. Type of content is going to be space. Data source is going to be current page space. I'm going to select this group, do the same thing, space, parent group space. This over here is going to be dynamic data. So I'm just going to get rid of this whole thing. It's a dynamic data, which is current page space, space name. Because if you see in our design, we have edit space, name of the space, and a description over here. So let's do the same thing for here. It's a dynamic data, parent group space, space description, layout, height is going to be 40, fixed height. Click on appearance and let's get uncheck this. All right, looks good, looks good. Why do I feel there is one more thing missing? I'm just gonna get rid of this text field. Okay, looks good. Now, this over here is going to be core image. I'm gonna select this. Let's make this upload cover image. And let's make this roundness as 6. Click on layout and check fixed width, height. For height, what should we use? Let's go with 225. 225. There we go. Looks good to me. This over here, click on appearance. I don't want this to be disabled. And this is going to be current page space, space name. Let's also rename this space name. I'm gonna get rid of this whole thing. Let's see what other things do we have. So we have space name, that's fine, space description, and status. So this is going to be space description. And we're going to use a multi-line input over here. Uncheck this. Width is going to be 0, height is going to be 100, that's fine. And let's call this as space description. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to copy this, select our group inputs, paste it. This over here is going to be status. And we're going to use a drop down field. So let's drop a drop down field. Let's edit the style. Roundness is going to be 6. Border color is going to be our border color. Background style flat. It's going to be our white. Just one thing. 12. Okay, I just wanted to check the padding. So over here for drop down, standard drop down. 12. Only on left and right. Let's head back. Uncheck fixed width. Min width is going to be 0. Height is going to be 40. I'm going to get rid of this. Now, over here, let's make this as status. This is going to be dynamic choice. Type of choice is going to be status. Choice source is going to be all status. And option caption is going to be current options display. Default value is going to be current page space status. Same goes with description. For initial content, insert dynamic data, which is current page space space description. Okay, looks good to me. So once user clicks on save, I want to make changes to a thing which is going to be current page space. And let's add all fields. Enroll members, we don't need it. We don't need post. We do need the cover image. So this is going to be picture uploader, upload avatars value, page description, multi-line input space descriptions value, space name again input space names value. You don't need the space tag. And status is going to be drop down status value. After this, I want to reset the inputs, and I want user to be navigated to dashboard admin, current user, v is equal to as, which is all space. So let's quickly add a new space. So let's see which space are we missing. I think it's event and meetup. So I'm just gonna copy this, click on this, event and meetup, save, and we are navigated over here. I'm gonna upload image. So from the asset file, just use. I have mentioned given all the cover images for courses for all the events. Let's type out few things. There we go. And I'm gonna make this published. Save. Looks good. In fact, we do need to work on the edit button. Okay, so let's do that. So we are done for this. For the image, we are gonna insert dynamic data, which is current page space cover image, process with image X. There we go. So we have name, description, and status as well. Looks good. Now head back to dashboard admin and let's bring up group all space. So when user clicks on this edit button, I want to navigate the user to edit page. Data to be sent is going to be parent group space. There we go. So if I click on general discussion, I should be directed to general discussion. There we go. If I go back, now let's do this for all course. Okay. Add a course, show the pop-up, save, new space. Okay. So this one is for creating a new course. So when the pop-up opens, this is the workflow for that. So over here, what I want is, let's do one thing. I'm gonna delete edit course. Let's head back to our dashboard admin. I'm gonna bring up pop-up add course, select this button, edit workflow. Now over here, I want him to be navigated to a new page. So let's rework it. So this is going to be edit course, and we're gonna duplicate this with our edit page. So we don't need to rework on it again. Edit course, data to be sent is going to be result of step 1. Change the type of content, which is going to change it to course. And of course, we are getting a lot of errors because as of now, the group over there is set to course. The page, the type of content on page is course, and the group that we had is set to space. There we go. Looks good to me. Let's also do it for edit button. So when user clicks on edit button, add a workflow, navigate the user to edit course, data to be sent is going to be parent group course. All right, now let's head over to edit course. Let's see. This over here is going to be current page course name. Let's call this as group edit course. Type of content is going to be course. There we go. Same goes with this group. All right. This is going to change to edit course, current page course name, current page course description. This over here is going to be current page course, cover image, process with image X, check this box. Same goes with here. You need a placeholder, current page course name. For description as well. Now we do have a few more things over here. Oh, let's quickly do that. Oh, that's already done. Let's see what else do we have for edit course. Image, name, description, and URL. What do I think? Let's call this as. Let's rename them. Input course name, course description, drop down status is fine. I'm gonna copy this, select group inputs, paste it over here. Let's make it previous, and I'm gonna call it as group URL. URL. This one is going to be URL. Enter video link. Let's do one more thing. I'm gonna add a text field over here. I'm gonna make this last. Let's call this delete course. Change this to our primary color. Let's make it 12. And I'm gonna group these two together into a column container with a row gap of 6, and then height is going to be 0. So when user clicks on delete course, we are going to add a workflow, which is basically going to delete a thing, which is current page course, and then we are going to navigate the user to dashboard, current user, parameter, v is equal to AC, all course. Now let's do for this one as well, course URL. Okay. So when user clicks on save, you're gonna this one is going to be course cover image, multi-line. So this is course description, course name. There we go. Let me just check. Course description, course value, reset relevant inputs, and OA is going to be AC, all course. Okay, let's create one more course and let's save it. So if I click on create stunning website for Webflow, this is a course by the way. It shows me the link. All right, so I'm just gonna use a dummy link over here. I'm just gonna use one of my link. And I'm gonna paste it over here. Let's save. If I click on this, I forgot to add the URL over here. Current page course URL. Oh, we forgot to add one more field. URL. Put course URLs value. Okay, let's do this again. Let's refresh. I'm gonna insert the link, save. When I click on Webflow course, there we go. Okay, now let's create a dummy course, which is going to be automating workflows with Zapier. Add a course. Let's upload an image. gonna do the same thing again for the video. There we go. And I'm gonna publish this. Save. Okay. So we are done. So as you can see, created by Blakewood. It's reflecting over here. Same goes with all space. Created by Blakewood. Awesome. So we are mostly done with our dashboard. Let me just quickly see. Are we missing anything? Oh, I just noticed one thing. This is going to be semi-bold and not bold. Same goes with our edit page. Semi-bold. Okay. I'm just gonna enter the link, save. Awesome. All right. So we are done with designing our dashboard, all space, all course, edit pages as well. So we're done with our day three. So in day four, we are going to focus on the members dashboard, where you can see the feed, wherein they are able to see all the spaces. They can join those spaces. They can also enroll themselves to all the courses that we have created. And on top of that, they can also post few things based on or through a space to other people or the members, to the instructors. All right, so we are done with day three. It was pretty quick, I guess. I tried my best to cover up everything and simplify this whole process. Before I go, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Again, if you have any doubt, queries, beat anything, any doubt, even if it's smallest, just ask me. I'm always there to help you guys out. All right, guys, I'll see you.